Welcome back to the Ambition Over Fear platform. I really want to bring something to your attention. If you're an empath or an HSP or a hypersensitive, what this means is you have an heightened awareness of the energy around you. And unfortunately, how this may start out is you feeling overwhelmed by feeling everybody else's energy, by you feeling the energy of a particular location. That heightened awareness can be a lot to hold. It can be overwhelming. But what if I were to tell you that your hypersensitivity is actually a strength? It is actually your key into unlocking the magic that your soul vibrates in. But one thing you have to do before you can look at your hypersensitivity as a tool rather than a weapon that you're using against yourself, in order for you to move from one state into another state, transmuting one thing into another thing is first done by letting go of that original thing. You cannot become something new if you're consistently holding on to the old. Alchemy itself, the art of transmutation, is taking A and making it into B. It is allowing your emotional energy to become a point of awareness for you. So instead of you being guilt-stricken or feeling shameful that you're consistently experiencing negative emotions, what you can do instead is look at the negative emotion as an indicator of something that is going on inside of you that needs to be healed or looked at. Also, a negative emotion really has power, but unfortunately we cannot always see the power behind an emotion because we're consistently holding on to our attachment of what that emotion means to our egoic mind. Now initially, yes, the ego is a pattern, a program of thoughts and emotions that sit in your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is the deep and very intricate levels of your brain. Now, we are sometimes only aware of our conscious mind. Now, I'm not sure of the exact statistics, but something like 70 to 90% of our thoughts are subconscious. We're not even aware of our thoughts. Now, I know that sometimes may seem very perplexing because when you think of a thought, you think, oh, I would have to think it for it to be a thought. A thought is simply an emotionalized set of information that is occurring within your brain. You don't have to be aware of a thought for you to have it. So when you're trying to move into a new life, what you're trying to do is move into a new parallel reality. Because as you may understand, when you consistently change, you feel very floaty. You feel as if you do not recognize yourself. The truth is, energy creates matter. Your soul, depending on whatever soul class you are, is at minimum of the 5th dimension or higher. So in order for your soul to be in a body, that higher dimensional energy has to translate into the lower dimensional energy that is composed of this earth. The 3rd dimension is lower than the 5th dimension. So right now, you are a soul having a human experience. So currently in your life, you're living out a 3D representation of consciousness. But in order for anything you see to manifest into physical matter, that energy has to come from a higher place, which is the fifth dimension. It is the energy of your soul. So forgiving yourself is key, because when you're moving into a new version of who you are, when you are moving into a new understanding of your association to the matrix, what you're really doing is saying, I am no longer resonating with this old pattern of emotions and thoughts that I have about myself and the world. And I'm going to move into a new pattern of emotions and thoughts that I would prefer to experience about myself and towards the world around me. In that moment, when you decide to do that, you are basically allowing your soul to plug into a new stream of consciousness. In that moment, your soul duplicates your body into a dimension right next door. So if you're understanding how energy manifests, you're basically looking at the metaphor of an apartment building that has 13 floors, and every floor is a dimension. And the floor above always brings electrical energy to the floor below. And the battery of energy sits at the 13th dimension, which is the most purest and most potent energy. But your soul is simply you experiencing the universe in an individualistic manner. The only way for the universe to actually have creative identity is if the universe as a whole split itself into different souls, and each soul has an understanding of I am. Even if you realize that I am pertains to your ego, that you heal and recreate based on how you would like to experience the matrix, the I am is also that resonance within your soul that tells you you have had different reincarnations on different planets as different beings. Come into that awareness. So when you're shifting from one parallel reality to another, what you have to do is forgive yourself for experiencing that old parallel reality, because with pain comes resentment. You have to let go of that resentment to fully let go of that energy to move into something new. And that is what an empath is always doing. An empath is always trying to understand how can they move out of energetic survival into energetic creation. Because as an empath, just speaking from personal experience, we are always trying to find balance of how much energy should we give other people and how much energy should we give ourselves. As an empath, we are always learning how to have boundaries, because we can consistently feel what somebody else is going through. We often feel as if we should be helping people all the time, because we would not want to feel as that other person is feeling. So we move into a resonance of helping and healing people, because that's what we would like for ourselves, is help and healing. So you have to move into a position of forgiveness long enough for you to let go of blaming other people why something happened, blaming yourself why something happened. Because the reality is, your soul signed up for every single experience you're currently going through. And when you have willpower and individualistic choice, you can decide to embody an entirely new version of you, a new ego, a new identity. And that identity, your programmed thoughts of emotions that sits in your subconscious mind when you're saying I am, that projects out that reality. So your ego is a program of emotions and thoughts that you have about yourself and the world. That cycle of energy is what projects itself into the external world And that is why we are manifesting creators, because everything we see around us in the external world is simply a representation of a state of being that is within us. Every person you see, every experience you encounter, even if you're watching a TV show or you hear about someone else's experience, nothing is separated. Therefore, every single thing that you come in contact with is connected to you. Therefore, understand why something is coming up, why you created that experience. What were you trying to teach yourself? What emotion were you trying to fully show honor to? And then that lets go of the judgment of, oh, I created this. Why did I create this experience? Why did I put myself through such extreme circumstances? Shift from victim into creator. So I want to get into all of those things right now, and I'm going to give you a step-by-step formula that I use to really understand how to access self-forgiveness long enough to where I can release the energy holding me down, so I can move into an energy that is resonating at a higher frequency, that is more tailored to my desires. Step one, I want you to understand how you view yourself, how you view your hypersensitivity is really important. The moment you feel like a victim is the moment you agree with a set of beliefs in your mind that tell the world to manifest experiences that prove your victimhood. If you think and believe that you are a creator, then now that feeling inside of you, the energy you're holding within your being, is going to vibrate into the external world and create experiences and situations to prove you are a creator. Okay? So that is step one, is really shifting your understanding of what hypersensitivity is. Understanding that even though in the past you're in heightened awareness of other people's energy and the energy within you and the energy of locations, that very intense feeling can often lead you to a place where you feel drained, overwhelmed, scattered, taken advantage of. Because being an empath really means that you have more access to higher dimensional energy. Being an empath really means that you have a deeper understanding of what an emotion is, because you go so far in it and you feel people's emotions so much. And really understanding the power of an emotion is understanding what makes your human reincarnation unique. Your soul is formless. It wanted to take form in this 3D realm. And in order for you to actually take advantage of this reincarnation, understand what makes this reincarnation unique. And that is emotions, feeling. The good and bad are no longer good and bad, and they're simply just a different experience. It's no longer running away from pain and chasing pleasure, but how can I enjoy and find value in the pain and the pleasure? You sitting and crying and releasing emotions is the most powerful way to honor your emotions. Being vulnerable is the most powerful way to be authentic in how you're showing up, because you're basically sending a signal out to the world saying, you don't have to hide who you are. Show up with your heart. Change the way you view your hypersensitivity. The only reason somebody can perform Reiki healing or quantum healing or magic or spell work, or the only reason somebody can manipulate the quantum field, which is simply manipulating energy, so the matter is of your choosing. If you're able to manipulate energy, then you can actually choose what matter manifests in your physical realm. All these healers and all these alchemists that are manipulating energy, the one reason they're able to do so is because they're able to identify an energy that exists on a different dimension, because they have an heightened sensitivity. Okay? I'm gonna throw it out there that the reason why you can sense more is because you're supposed to use that heightened awareness to benefit you instead of drag you down. Step 2, I want you to understand that every single thing that has happened to you, you have created. Now, this is not for you to feel guilty. This is not for you to act as if you have to now be responsible for every thought you have, and you have to monitor every thought and make sure to never have a negative thought. Because the more law of attraction gets more mainstream, the more spirituality and consciousness gets its room to speak in our society, the more we are aware of our thoughts and emotions. So don't use your awareness to create more control. Now that you're more aware of your emotions and thoughts, try not to consistently be in a position where you're attempting to control every thought and emotion, because now you know your thoughts and emotions manifest reality. Let go of control. Allow your mind and your emotions to experience whatever it would like to play out. Okay? Now, in that moment, what this does is it creates a level of neutrality. When you're not trying to control your thoughts and emotions, you're creating a level of neutrality where you understand that negative, positive, it is all just a different color. That's it. Appreciate everything you've gone through, because it has really provided you with an opportunity to change the way your internal world is working. The moment you are aware of an emotion or a thought or something that has happened to you due to your hypersensitivity, and because you're an empath, whenever you do something, you feel the emotion at such an heightened level. So whenever you have an experience or did something in the past, you may find a need to judge yourself. And judging yourself comes from trying to control everything around you and everything within you. Let go of control. Okay? Now, step 3 in understanding how to use your hypersensitivity to reach higher dimensions, but really how to use self-forgiveness to reach a higher dimension of consciousness, is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself and understand that no matter how you were raised, no matter the pressures that existed in your family, in your religion, in your society, you do not have to be perfect. You do not need to be a certain person to be accepted by everyone else around you. Be who you are. Have boundaries, and knowing that as long as you're not harming anybody, you can be and live any way you would want to be. And any person that is not allowing you to exhibit and express the power of you as a creator, they're just not for you. And that's on them, because they're living out a projection of their reality. So the way somebody talks to you is a representation of what's going on inside of them. So learn how to separate that. Forgive yourself and have fun in the messiness. Have fun in the messiness. Oftentimes we think that if we can control every situation, if we can only have positive thoughts and emotions and be in love and light all the time, that will give us a higher probability of living a better life. But what if I were to tell you that that is jaded? Because in order for you to live a better life, you have to heal. In order for you to heal, well, my friend, you have to truly accept what you have created in your life and look at it with a curiosity and openness of your inner child and say, I guess I really wanted to experience that emotion. I guess I really needed this experience to keep happening, to teach me something that will be carried forward to not have disempowering experiences, but to have empowering experiences. Forgive, let go, so you can move on and move into a new place. Now, step 4 is when you're moving from person A to person B, when you're trying to transmute a disempowering negative emotion into an empowering positive emotion, such as using anger to really be aware of how much passion you actually have in your life and that you're just not applying the passion into something that can fulfill you. When you're moving from point A to point B and you can finally let go of A and you can forgive and heal yourself and realize that everything is neutral and you have to appreciate and be mindful of what any emotion or experience or thought is. Observe what something is and don't get too attached to what it means to you, but what does it mean to your future self? How to access higher dimensions with self-forgiveness. And if you would like to take your empathic ability, to take your skill set of being able to feel into more energy than the average person, first you have to train your mind to let go of the fact that hypersensitivity is a bad thing in the first place. And then when you do that, you will start to use hypersensitivity in a more productive manner. Allow your hypersensitivity to give you the skill set in tapping into energy that is not of your body. So if you're in nature, use your hypersensitivity to tap into the plants. Put your hand over the plants. There are portals in every human's hand. Absorb the powerful energy that nature provides. If you are in a location or you have people around you and you can feel their energy, understand that is a beautiful skill set that makes you a great healer and a great reader. But don't attach to the energy. Realize that this person's energy is theirs, and you can put a protective bubble around you. Imagine a shield of energy. So when you're reading people or reading environments and you're just tapping into the curious philosopher in you that is just wanting to use your hypersensitivity to experience different forms of energy that are on different dimensions, that is the key, and that is what you should focus on. You are becoming a taste tester as an empath. You're able to feel things. And when you go into meditation and you start using different types of things to elevate your consciousness, hobbies, plant medicine, different mindfulness techniques, then you can use your hypersensitivity as a method of feeling a level of energy that most people cannot feel. Your hypersensitivity allows your being to be more flexible, so you can open yourself up to things that exist in the universe at a much more easier rate. Hypersensitivity is a power, my friend. I love you so much for tuning into this video. And just realize the next time your empathic abilities drain on you, then you could use your hypersensitivity to manipulate energy and to see energy and experience more of the universe. All right, bye.